For many years, Taskmaster and Deadpool have crossed paths and swords, be it as enemies or as friends. And during the pre-production scripting stage of the first Deadpool movie, director Tim Miller actually wanted Taskmaster. He was later told that Marvel had the rights to Taskmaster. Though we met Deadpool plenty of times in comic books, Taskmaster's first appearance is in an Avengers comic book, and that's how it usually works. Whomever owns the teams or the title of the book you debut in also owns you. So Marvel owned Taskmaster, but surely you knew that, right? Well, it turns out that New Line Cinema had actually owned the rights to Deadpool back then. Fox had to buy those rights from New Line so he could appear in the movie. Well, pretend didn't happen, which was X-Men Origins Wolverine. Fox went after Taskmaster for a very specific reason. The guy who directed Smoking Aces actually wanted to do a film. They were going to make a Taskmaster film. By the time this all got going, and it took years, the rights reverted back to Marvel. So by the time Tim Miller got to him, it was too late, but talk didn't stop. And by Deadpool 2, there was still talk. Even Francis, Ajax, saying Taskmaster should be the one. And now we're finally getting Taskmaster, a live-action version, of course, on screen in May 2020 in Black Widow. I've also been saying Taskmaster could show up on Falcon and Winter Soldier, as it was Taskmaster himself who trained U.S. Agent. But we're here to talk about Deadpool and where he will debut first. Ryan Reynolds showed up at Marvel Studios today and took a nice photo, which we can see here from his Instagram page. But why? Let's talk about it. In July of 2019, Emma Watts, the vice chairman of 20th Century Fox, was actually forced to turn over Deadpool to Kevin Feige. And the reason for this was so that she could stay on board and run James Cameron's Avatar films. And it was around this time that two other things happened. Kevin Feige confirmed that Marvel Studios would not be changing anything about what makes Deadpool Deadpool. The plan's really been to keep Deadpool under a separate banner than the main MCU film, sort of like a diffusion line or an imprint within the larger umbrella. And of course he could cross over, and he probably will in a more family-friendly way. Things like Once Upon a Deadpool, which was a PG-13 re-release, was something of a test bed to see how audiences would react to a PG-13 Deadpool. The other thing Feige did was shoot down rumors from a leaker with a less than stellar track record, Jeremy Conrad of MCU Cosmic. Conrad said there's three ways that Deadpool might debut: via a solo film, a Disney Plus limited series, or to debut in Spider-Man 3. So comicbook.com said, hey, is there any validity to these? And Kevin Feige said, we're certainly having conversations about the future of all those Fox properties, how to weave them in and when to weave them in. That one in particular is not the case. It's very adamant and very clear about that, and that actually rules out a lot. But it doesn't rule out Black Widow. First, Deadpool has too much potential to just have a Disney Plus show. There's too much theatrical money to be made than the $6.99 monthly subscription fee. And while it's all connected, it's really best to tie him into the MCU proper from the jump. Time to Spider-Man, time to Taskmaster, to Thunderbolts. You've got billion-dollar-plus franchise on your hands right there. He is, though, too edgy and R for Disney+. That's why you see some separation in some shows winding up on Hulu, the horror, darker, edgier themed shows. But those are going to be horror and supernatural shows, so not a good fit for Deadpool either. So the idea of a separate banner with occasional PG-13 crossovers holds merit, and it makes sense, right? And it's the best of both worlds. You still get your crossovers, you still get your R-rated Deadpool. It makes sense to tease him, cameo him, and whet our appetites for the mark for the mouth, while a proper Deadpool 3 can be put together, and that will take years to do, which is why we don't see him on the slate now. Black Widow may seem sort of quick to roll him out, but keep in mind, Deadpool is a mercenary, a grounded anti-hero. Eternals, this cosmic story, wouldn't make sense. Shang-Chi is going to be busy dealing with the Mandarin, Doctor Strange with Nightmare, and possibly Mephisto, so neither of those would make sense. Spider-Man 3 comes out in July of 2021, but sure, Feige did say he wouldn't intro him there, but he could cameo. It doesn't mean he couldn't show up. He just won't be there first. That means it has to be something else before that potentially, or much later. So that really does leave Black Widow a film that encompasses all of the criteria that we've outlined here. It's full of other mercenaries, it's full of other spies, it's grounded, it's gritty, it's edgy. As much as Taskmaster and Deadpool have history, Deadpool and Spider-Man do have so much more. But why not give him an end credit scene first to tease him? And with Ryan Reynolds being at Marvel, that would be way too early if he was set for Spider-Man 3. And actually, he posted the picture today, but it could have very well been last week, and I'll say why in a second. But Deadpool is the biggest success of Fox's X-Men, the most popular, and the one who carried through the merger unscathed and still alive. It's unquestionable that they want to use him. In August of this year, TiVo from Lords of the Long Box and his Black Knight scoops dropped a massive black and red bomb. He said, "What I'm hearing and this is one of the biggest stories, that Deadpool will indeed be making his MCU debut in Black Widow. He's going to be in a post-credit scene. In that Black Widow end credit scene, he meets with Taskmaster in a bar. At the beginning of October last week, as of this video premiering, Black Widow wrapped principal photography with some reshoots taking place at a temporary set up in Georgia. And during those reshoots last week, William Hurt was spotted on the set. William Hurt is, of course, Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, the future Red Hulk, leader of the Thunderbolts at one time. It showed an older Thunderbolt Ross with a cane. So you put those two things together, maybe Thunderbolt is recruiting Taskmaster and he's recruiting Deadpool for a new team. Possibly. Or they could be two separate end credit scenes. This week, Ryan Reynolds posted this shot of, I showed it before here, it's again in front of the Marvel Studios logo with the caption, "Auditioned for the role of Anthony Stark. Didn't even come remotely close, but the nice man with a taser escorted me to the ground." Gotta be Deadpool, right? He's there for a reason, and he's there to play in Deadpool. And like I said before, it's way too early for anything post Spider-Man 3. And he's there just about 6 months before Black Widow releases. Just enough time to finish up his scene. Perhaps this shot was taken last week during the reshoots and he just posted it today. So what I'm saying is that he has been an immediate potential candidate for many years. Black Widow is the time for his debut, but it does beg a few questions. Is Old Man Thunderbolt trying to recruit them? Will they meet them in the mercenary bar from the Deadpool movies? Who knows? The bar where the Avengers have their coffees? It all sounds like it's coming together. And that's a wrap on this one, my friends. So go ahead and leave me your comments and thoughts on this in comments below. Let's continue the conversation down there. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.